Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, everyone. Nice to see you all after a long break. Hare Krishna. Wish you all a very happy Krishna conscious New Year. I'm wishing you all first time.
Same to you, Mataji.
Thank you.
Let me share my screen. Okay. Actually, I'm not using my regular laptop today, so it's very difficult for me to operate this today.
Even Sita Priti Mataji had a new laptop. She used a new laptop also.
Okay.
Our teachers are going to use a new laptops. Wow, such a new year, right? Started with Sita Priti Mataji. She also had a difficulty because it was a new laptop.
Yeah, because I'm not used to it, so it's very hard. That's why I joined early, and I was just checking how everything will work.
Nice one.
Okay. Let's start with our prayers. 3, 2, 1.
Om
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Hare
Very
Krishna
nice.
Hare
Thank
Krishna
you.
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
All right, let's move now. Let's move to our session. Actually, I have not added the verses. Do you all know what are the verses Mataji added? You can share from Vedapage.
Mataji, it was 3:30.
I just made everything in a hurry today. Is it 1 to 16?
Mataji, it is your verses, Mataji?
Yeah, Mataji. Actually,
Yeah, you have 17.1 and 17.2, I think, Mataji.
No, for the recitation, Mataji. I actually did not add that verse.
Verses? Okay.
Let me just share on the Veda.
Yeah, 1.2.16, Mataji.
1 to 16, right? I'm just going to share it quickly.
Yeah.
Sorry, you all have to bear with me today. Okay. Yeah. All right. Did you all recite this one yesterday? Okay, so you all can repeat it after me. Okay. Can you all see the verse?
Yes, Mataji.
So you can refer to this. Okay. Shishrusho Shraddhanasya. Shishrusho Shraddhanasya. Vasudeva Katharuchihi. Vasudeva Katharuchihi. स्यान्महत्सेवया विप्रा स्यान्महत्सेवया विप्रा पुण्यतीर्थानि सेवनात् पुण्यतीर्थानि सेवनात्. Once more, okay? Once again. शुश्रूषोषदधानस्य वासुदेव कथारुचिः स्यान्महत्सेवया विप्रा पुण्यतीर्थानि सेवनात्. Everyone got all the words? Any difficulty anyone had? No, right? Let's read the translation. Okay, you all want to recite it? Who all want to recite? Who want to raise your hand? I'm going to tell you all in groups, okay? Abhinav, Mukund, and Kavya. And also Param. 4 of you recite, okay? Unmute yourselves.
Mataji, can you recite now?
Yes, go ahead. Abhinav, Mukund, Kavya, and Param. Go ahead, quickly. 3, 2, 1.
Vasudeva Gataruchi Yanmahatsevaya Vipraha Punyatirthanishevanat.
Very good. Kabir and Radha. Anybody else wants to do it? Okay, both of you can. And Tulsi. 3 of you, go ahead. Unmute yourself. And, okay, Vrinda also.
Vasudeva Gataruchi Shanmahatsevaya Vipra Punyatirthani Shevanat.
Very good. Balavrinda wants to recite, right? Who wants to recite along with Balavrinda?
Yeah, Balavrinda recite slowly.
Huh, Mataji?
Yeah, no, I'm saying her to recite slowly, Mataji.
Okay, we have many today, like Advait is there, Ansh is there. Anybody wants to recite?
Can Advait recite?
Yeah, you can go with the Balavrinda. Go along with whoever wants to recite. All of you go ahead. 3, 2, 1. Go ahead, Balavrinda.
Vasudeva Kataruchi Yanmahatsevaya Vipra Punyatirthani Sevanat. Thank you, Mataji.
Okay. Very nice. Anybody else wants to recite? Did I miss anyone?
Okay, Mataji.
So,
I'll recite with Balavrinda.
huh? Okay. I hope I gave the chance to whoever wanted to recite. We will move to our next session, okay? Let's read the translation quickly. We should know what we are reciting, right? Who wants to read the translation? Ansh, do you want to read? I like the names. You have all written your names differently this time. Like powerful, perfect, Param, and then kind, Kabir. That's scary. Go ahead, Ansh.
O twice born sages, by serving those devotees who are completely freed from all vice, great service is done. By such service, one gains affinity of hearing the messages of Vasudev.
Yes. Serving the devotees. To say this verse talks about serving the devotees. What happens? Serving the devotees who are completely freed from all vice. Great service is done. And by such service, one gains affinity for hearing the messages of Vasudev. All right, so I will share my PPT now. Okay, so what did we learn before the break? Anybody remembers which chapter we were reading?
Mataji, I think it's the 6th chapter, 6th or 5th.
Chapter 6. Which canto?
I think Mataji, Sitaprati Mataji said 3rd canto, part 2. I don't know if it's correct, but
Yeah, that's what she said. We finished the part where Vijay and Vijay were teleported to Earth.
Yeah, so that was chapter 16. We completed that. So
Yeah,
what we learned in that? So if suppose now you have learned the chapter 16, somebody asks you, what is there in chapter 16? How would you summarize that? What are all the points you would like to share? We learned that like for many weeks, right? We were revising and then learning new points, again revising, learning new points. So I think now you all know about chapter 16, right? Who wants to share? Just one by one, go ahead quickly. Who wants to go? Kavya wants to share anything? You have raised hand? Or is it from previous time? What do you remember from chapter 16? Share something. I have also shared here on the screen. You can share the same point. You know, if somebody has not muted, please mute yourself. Yeah, who wants to share points? What happened? How it started? Demigods were fearful, right? Of what?
Yeah.
What was happening everywhere?
There was darkness and bad omens.
There was darkness
Yes,
and
there was
bad.
darkness. Yes. And so they went to whom? Lord Brahma. And then Lord Brahma told them about the pastime, right? Who are they? Why there is darkness? And then he narrated this story, right? 4 Kumaras and Jai Vijay. I will not go in detail, but we all remember this, right? How 4 Kumaras cursed Jai Vijay. They also got to see who? Face to face? Whom did they see? Sorry. 4 Kumaras saw whom? They got to see? Nobody's talking.
They wanted to see the
They saw Lord Vishnu, right?
Yeah, they wanted to see Vishnu.
Mataji,
Yeah.
I know that story. I know the 4 Kumara story.
Nice.
Prabhuji told me that story on Wednesdays.
Okay, are you new? Who's that?
Mataji is in Damodar class. He's Ryan.
Oh, okay.
I just went to the bathroom and took a bath, and my
Okay.
clothes were changed.
Okay. I see some new names. So nice to have you all. Okay. So yeah, so this is what we learned in chapter 16, right? And then we got. Now let's see what happens after that when they get to know about this story that there are demons in the womb of Diti, and because of that there is darkness. And Diti did not want them to take birth, so she was just having them for 100 years in her womb. So let's see what happens after that. We are going to read verse 1. Let's read the translation. Who wants to read? Janvi, do you want to read?
Yes, Mataji. The
Translation.
virtuous lady Diti has been very she made there that the demigods and the inhabitants of the higher planets were freed from all fear upon having the cause of darkness explained by Brahma, who is born from Vishnu. Thus they all return to their respective.
So what happened? Demigods heard the story, right? They got to know about the fact that what happened. So they were freed from all the fear upon hearing the cause of the darkness. They got to know why there was darkness everywhere. And who explained that? Brahma. and who was born from Vishnu. So they returned to their respective planets. Okay, this is what happened here in the first one. Let's read the second one. Who wants to read? Tulsi, do you want to read second one?
The virtuous Lady Titi had been very apprehensive of trouble to the gods from the children in her womb, and her husband predicted the same. She brought forth twin sons after a full 100 years of pregnancy.
So Diti, as she knew that there were like demons now in her womb, she did not want actually children to take birth, and her husband had also predicted that, right? Who's her husband? Kashyapa, right? So she brought forth twin sons after like 100 years of pregnancy. She had them, like I mentioned before, right? She had them in her womb for 100 years. So from these two verses, what do you think we are going to discuss today? Can you all guess? So there is one word here which I want to discuss about today. Yes, any guesses? Just guess and unmute and share.
Apprehensive.
Okay. Anybody else?
Inhabitants.
Okay.
Virtuous.
I'm the same. Roaches?
Huh? Okay, what is this word here?
Fear.
Fear.
Fear. We are going to talk about fear today. So,
Mat-
Mataji,
Mataji,
does
I
fear
know what
mean like
fear,
scariness?
Mataji, I know what fear is. It's
yes,
like
we are
you're-
going to
yes,
discuss
it's
that.
like
Something
From you,
it's like
scary.
you were
what
afraid
is
of something.
fear? Because you can see the demigod is mentioned there.
Mataji,
The
I think
demigods who are
Yeah.
denizens of higher planets are also very much afraid of incidents such as the universe is becoming dark. And so they consulted Brahma. So this is from the purport of Srila Prabhupada. So they were also fearful. They were afraid of the darkness. And then they took shelter of whom? Brahma. And then they consulted with Brahma. So this indicates that the quality of fear exists for every living entity in the material world. So like here it's mentioned, like, okay, 4 principal activities are there in the material existence. What are they? First is eating. Second is sleeping, fearing, and mating. What are the four principal activities of this material existence?
Eating, sleeping,
Eating,
fearing,
sleeping,
mating.
fearing, and mating. So do you see fear is there? It's one of the activities. Among these, the fear element exists also in the demigods. Demigods were also fearful, right? So what is this fear? What is this fear? And what are we fearful of? What do you think? What do you think when you hear this word fear? What comes to your mind? Can you all share? And what are some of the fears of life? Like if you all mention, and then I'm gonna write them down here. What are some of the fears of life?
Mataji,
Huh?
a lot of people fear of death.
Huh? What is that?
Death.
Mataji, a lot of fear of death.
Death, yes. Death is a big fear. Correct. What else? What are you fearful of? Are you fearful of exams?
Losing your job. Losing your
Yes.
job.
Losing a job. Correct.
Mataji, fear is an intensely unpleasant emotion in response to perceiving or recognizing a danger or threat.
Mm-hmm. So what are some of the fears in your life?
Threat. Mataji, they're scared of threat.
Where did you read that from, Mukund? Okay, tell me one fear in your life now.
Mataji, getting lost. Like
Getting low grades.
Getting low grades.
Losing money.
Low grade. Losing money.
Mataji, this is Kavya.
Mataji,
Getting lost, Mataji.
Okay, one person at a time. Then I won't be able to hear everybody.
Being in
Job
Mataji,
interview.
being poor. Being poor.
Job
Being
Uh-huh.
poor.
Say
Being
louder.
poor.
Getting the job. Not getting the job after a job interview.
And what can be the consequence?
Poor is the same as losing money. Poor. Being poor. Being poor. Being poor. Being poor.
Something like that. Somebody is saying more.
Mataji, Vrinda
Being
wants to say
more
something.
poor.
Yes, go ahead, Balvinda.
Say.
Being poor.
Fear of hell.
Are you speaking, Balvinda?
Yes, Mataji.
Mataji, can Advait say something?
Hell,
Because everybody is
Mataji.
speaking, I'm not able to hear.
Mataji, why don't we just make them
On chat.
Yeah, can
Being
you all
rich.
share in the chat? In that
Mataji,
Mataji,
I
can I say something? This
know. Mataji,
advice.
I know
Money
one. I
is
know one.
mentioned.
I know one.
Mataji.
Mataji,
Fear of
I know one.
hell. Okay. Fear of hell, Balvinda.
Mataji, can Advait say something?
Yes.
Fear.
People have fear
Fear of
of
losing.
not
Mataji,
having
you
enough,
can also have fear of losing bhakti.
Not having enough what?
Mataji, you can have.
not having enough money to pay the bills.
No,
Mataji.
not enough money.
Mataji, you
Mataji,
can
Alright,
also
so-
have fear of
Another
falling
Okay,
one.
so
down
this
from
is good
bhakti.
enough. So you all have shared nice points. So what are the consequences when we have this fear? What happens to us? Are we happy?
No.
We are always thinking of this fear.
We're scared,
So like
Mataji. We're
first we
scared.
are first we think that okay, I want to have a good house. Then we build a big house. Then we have fear. Oh, then if something happens to my house, if somebody comes and steals something. So whatever we do, in each stage we have some fear, right? What are the consequences? What happens? We lose peace, happiness. Some people lose even their sleep. They don't have good sleep at all. People are stressful. Do you all agree that these are some of the consequences of the fear? Yes? Who is happy when somebody is in fear? Do you see anyone like that?
Mataji, I used
Whenever
to
there is
see
fear,
poor
there is
people
always
at
some
Target.
stress.
I used to see some poor people at the middle of the road, and they're feeling sad and homeless,
Mm.
and
So there is a
dying of
story of
hunger.
this. Have you all heard of this story of a fearful rabbit?
Mataji,
Who is
I
always
heard that
fearful of
story.
everything.
No, Mataji.
So I'll tell you in short. There is a rabbit who is always fearful of everything. So once he was sitting under the tree, and then what happened? One big leaf fell on his back, and then he got so scared. He thought
Mataji, there's
sky
another.
fell on his back.
Mataji,
The rabbit thought the sky fell on his back.
Mataji,
Huh?
that story is called "The Sky is Falling."
Huh?
That story is like called. That story is almost like the sky is falling.
Yes. That's. I think you must have heard this. So he thinks that the sky fell on his back. He was so fearful. So he started running, and he went to the deer who was sitting nicely, peacefully, eating something. And then he said, "Why you are just sitting here peacefully? Do you know sky is falling down?" And he made even the deer fearful. And he started running. That deer started running along with the rabbit. They both are just running, and then they get to see monkey who is happily jumping around all the trees. And they're saying, "You're so ignorant. You don't know anything. You see, the sky is falling." And then they make even him fearful. And the monkey also joins him. And they tell many animals like that. And then they go to the lion. And then lion starts laughing and he says, "Where is it? Just show me." Then they all go to the tree. And then they see there was a big leaf fallen there. So what happened to the rabbit? Because he was fearful, what happened? He got so stressful, he made others also stressful. He
So
lost
that means you're lying. The moral of the story is do not lie and look around what is near
Yeah,
you.
that is also, no, he was not lying actually. He was so fearful, and out of that fear, he thought that. So he got misguided also because of the fear. So this is what happens when one is in fear. But we know about all these fears of life, but who do you think is not fearful of all of facing the future sufferings of life? Because we saw
Lord
that
Krishna.
fear means, who is not fearful of life? We know we have all these fears. You know, fear of these, that, losing money, low grade, all that. But who is not fearful? Abhinav, you raised hand. Who is not fearful? It's easy. Come on.
Fearful.
Who's not fearful is a devotee.
Yes.
Who is
Yes. Do you all agree?
Devotee of
Do you all
Krishna.
agree? Yes. Devotees
Yes.
are
Yes, Mataji, but more
I
specific,
agree.
like your
I
devotee like
agree.
Srila Prabhupada.
And like his disciple.
And why they are not fearful? See, let's
They,
read this.
No, they're not this
taken-
body.
they have
Because
taken
Krishna
at
with them.
shelter at the lotus feet of Krishna.
They have
Yes.
lost.
Because they have Krishna's Raja.
They have taken shelter at the feet of the lotus feet of Krishna.
Yes.
Shelter at the lotus feet of
So,
Krishna.
Isha, do you want to read this? Let's read this. It's very beautiful, okay?
What devotee?
Unmute yourself and read.
Devotees. Why? Fear and
Why they are not fearful. Okay. Go ahead.
Fear and nervousness come from not knowing the future or having concerns about the outcome of something in the future, because a devotee is aware that Krishna is in charge of everything up, and that's not a blade,
And that's not a blade of grass.
and that a blade of grass moves without his section.
Sanctions.
It follows that
Oh,
a devotee isn't afraid or nervous as one adventures in Krishna consciousness and becomes more aware of Krishna's loving hand in life. It is possible to relax and have true peace.
See. Yes, so you can see here why devotees are not fearful. They know that Krishna is in charge of everything, right? This reminds me of one quote by His Grace Gaur Gopal Prabhu. Have you all seen that? And that became so popular, and after that he became very, very popular amongst the youth. He says, do you have problems in life? If you have answered as yes, then there is one more question. Can you do something about it? If you say yes, then why do you worry? And if you say no, then again you can say, why do you worry? Even if you can't do anything, then what is the point of worrying about it? Right? So devotees know all this. They have this absolute knowledge, right? This perfect knowledge. They know that why we are suffering. Are we suffering? So if there is another point there, okay, I'll share it. So they know that why they are suffering. So here, I will explain this later. Okay, let me do it. So this fear also brings suffering. So if your friend who is thinking that he's suffering and he's blaming God, that I'm suffering because God is not being fair with me. So what would you explain to him? Is he suffering because of the God or any other reason? If your friend is saying that I'm suffering because God is not being fair with me, what do you think? What would you tell him? Yes, Abhinav?
God didn't do it. Your bad actions, your previous bad actions have resulted in you being in jail.
Yes. So it's
That
like
wasn't God's fault.
a person is in the prison. Why is in prison? Because he acts against the laws, right? And so he cannot complain that he's not happy in the prison. Similarly, we have left the spiritual world and we have come to this material world. So we cannot expect always happiness, right? And all this knowledge devotees know, and that's why they are not fearful of it. So there is one word what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita about miserable word. Can you remember? Do you remember that? About this miserable word? There is a word in Bhagavad Gita in Sanskrit. What is it? Dukhalayam Shashvatam, right? It's temporary and miserable. So we all know, devotees know that this is a miserable place and we are going to get suffering. So he is not fearful of anything. And this is what we learn in Krishna consciousness, right? So you have seen the soldier, right, who is protecting the country with sword and gun in hand. So who are our soldiers? Who are the soldiers in our movement? Have you seen people doing book distribution and all? So what can be our weapon? Like a soldier has a sword in hand. What is our weapon? When we go to book distribution, what do you see in the hand? And that's what the devotees try to. Okay, Isha, have you want to share? Isha,
You're going to the book distribution. I think the weapon you have is hope and the books.
books, yes, and we also see chanting beads. So what they're trying to do, the devotees go out and they're trying to make people free from all these fears, right? So they get peace and they are free from this stress, right? And that's what everyone is looking for. Everyone just wants happiness, peace in life. So they come out of these fears. And that's what is mentioned here. Even demigods, first they were fearful, but then they became fearless. Why? Because they received this knowledge from Brahma, right? So how it helps in our day-to-day life, school life? How this helps us? Because we go to school, we have exams, we have assignments. So how this will help us to become fearless from all this? Now you all go to school and there is exam, everybody has studied really well, but Krishna Nayana is not looking stressful, Advait is not looking stressful. All the Krishna conscious kids who are learning about Krishna consciousness, they are not stressful, but others who they don't know about chanting, they don't know about these books, they are very scared of exams and they are wondering how come they are not scared of all this. So what would you tell them? Why are you not scared of exam? Why are you not fearful of exam? Want to share something? Why would you not get fearful of exams? So this will help you a lot in high schools and colleges.
Because you have faith on Krishna.
Yes, and that's what we are learning here, right? That we should not become fearful, and we know the knowledge and we have faith in Krishna. So if you have studied really well, you will not get stressed, you will not be panicked of all this, right? So this is how we can apply this in our day-to-day school life also. And there is one more point actually, that they all consulted with Brahma. I'll go quickly with it. So when they were fearful, they all consulted Brahma. So what do you learn from this word consulted? Did they speculate anything and take their own actions when there was darkness? No, they consulted with Brahma, right? So that this what teaches us how we can take guidance and consultation from our seniors or adults, right? Do we really know everything? Like whenever I have seen parents are trying to tell something to kids, kids always say, oh, I know it. I know that. Please don't tell me. How many of you say that to your parents? Some kids don't like it when the parents are instructing something or guiding something, right? But from this we can learn that how we should be ready to take guidance and instructions from adults. That's what they did. They were so submissive, they just consulted Brahma. Okay, so these are some of the points about fear and how we should consult with adults. So I will not take much time now. I think Mataji will take over. So I will stop here. I will see you all next week. Okay. Thank you for joining. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
It was a wonderful
Hare Krishna,
class.
Vrinda Kumari Mataji.
Thank you,
Hare Krishna
Mataji.
Mataji. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare
you.
Krishna.
Bye.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna, Preeti Vilasni Mataji.
Such a nice class on fear. It was really, really
Are we
nice.
doing Sanskrit?
Hmm.
Yay.
Why is my camera so bright? I look like a ghost. Anyway, Hare Krishna. Mm,
Hare Krishna, Preeti Vilasni Mataji. Welcome back to Govinda.
Hare Krishna. Hari Bol. So I see such interesting devotees on the call. Background Balaram, miraculous Mukund, talented Tulasi. Mm.
It looks like they all planned to have it or something.
Yeah, yesterday Sita Preeti Mataji saw miraculous Mukund and she said everybody to add adjective and all kids added their adjective.
But they are also creative. They
Same
found
like
the correct word
that,
starting with their list.
like how Tulasi added, right? Talented Tulasi, like
Talented Tulsi,
he
yeah.
added like that.
All
Yeah.
amazing Abhinav.
So for Sita Preeti Mataji, they all said superstar Sita Preeti Mataji. Some adjectives they all gave for Sita Preeti Mataji.
Yeah, our Gauriya kids are very creative.
Isha has some hearts and some cats and cows. I don't know what that means.
Mataji, it's llamas.
Oh, really? Okay. Okay, very nice. Such a nice class, right? On fear. Mataji weaved in so many details. I enjoyed the class. It was really nice. Okay, so what we're going to do today is Mataji was talking about fear, right? And who's fearless? What did you learn from her? Who's fearless?
Devotees.
A
Who has-
devotee.
Who
The
has?
devotee is the most fearless.
Okay.
Yeah,
a
most fearless.
devotee who has taken.
Krishna.
Shelter of the lotus feet of Krishna.
Feet of Krishna.
Very nice. So what are the other methods of attaining fearlessness? How do you constantly remember Krishna? By what do you
Chanting his name.
chanting the holy names? Yes.
Chanting.
Yeah. So what we're going to do now?
Chanting the holy names.
We have done a lot of series in Sanskrit, right? We have done plenty of series. So I thought we'll just focus on Krishna's names and try to understand the meaning of Krishna's names. So Krishna has so many names, so many names. So you must have all heard Vishnu Sahasranam, then, Krishna's Ashtottara Shatanam. Like that, there are so many names for Krishna. So Ashtottara Shata means 108. Shat, Ashtottara Shata Nama Stotram. Supposed to be 108 names of Sri Krishna. Krishna Ashtottaram it is called. So what we're going to do is we are going to get into each of these names and try to see the meaning. That will be our exercise. And at the end of it, we'll also tell the entire Namavali of Sri Krishna, all the 108 names. Do you think this is a good exercise? We'll understand the meaning of Krishna's name and also chant his names. Is that okay?
Yes, Mataji.
Wonderful.
Yes, Mataji.
Okay. So let's start. Krishna. What is the meaning of Krishna? What is the
The
meaning?
Supreme Personality.
All
of Godhead.
attractive.
All attractive.
All attractive.
Very nice.
Dark
Krishna.
complexion Lord.
He's all attractive. And he's also the dark
Yes,
complexion.
Sham. Mataji Sham.
Shyam. Yeah, Krishna, Shyam. So Krishna is all attractive. Another meaning is dark complexion. Then one who gives happiness to the bhumi. There's so many meanings actually for Krishna. Akarshan, one who attracts. One who gives pleasure to earth. Rishi Bhuvachako Shabda. So like that, there are so many meanings for the name Krishna. But we will remember two names, two meanings. One is all attractive and the other is dark complexion Lord. So for those of you who are writing the Sanskrit script, you can write the first name as Krishna. So this is how you write Krishna. Many of you have seen it several times, how to write Krishna. You can also put a visarga with 2 dots after na. Okay. So it's Krishna. That it's not Krishna, it's Krishna. Okay, so Krishna, and you can put a Visarga, Krishna, because he's male. Okay, who is Krishna? Female. Who's that?
Draupadi.
Draupadi.
Draupadi. Mataji, Draupadi.
Very good, very good. Krishna is Draupadi. She's female, huh? So you have Krishna. But this is Krishna. That's all. Okay. So that is our first name. The second name that is given in the Namavali is Kamala Natha. Who's Kamala?
Nama. Huh?
Huh?
Goddess of Lakshmi.
Goddess Lakshmi, yes, because she's like a lotus flower. Remember when we did flowers, we saw one of the names for lotus flower is Kamala.
Oh yeah, Mataji, isn't it Padma?
Yeah, Padma also, Padma, Kamala, all of these.
Lord of Lotuses.
She herself is like a lotus flower. So she's called as Kamala. Now Kamala's Natha. Natha is what? Lord, right? The Lord or the husband is Natha. So
I heard from somewhere, Kamala Lale, something.
Yeah. Vishnu Sahasranam, yes.
Yeah.
So Kamala Natha. Natha is the Lord. So Kamala Natha is the consort of the goddess of Lakshmi. Consort meaning husband. Okay. The spouse is called as consort. So the consort of goddess Lakshmi is Kamala Natha. Kamala Natha. So what was the first name we read? Krishna. The second one is Kamala Natha. Kamala Nathaya Namaha. Krishnaya Namaha. Kamala Nathaya Namaha. That is the second. So if you are writing the Sanskrit script, write it down. Kamala Natha. Like you see here. Okay. The third name. The third name is Vasudeva. Who is Vasudeva? Who is Vasudeva? We have learned this already.
Vasudeva is the son of Vasudeva.
Very good. Very nice.
Yeah, Vasudev is the son of Vasudeva.
Yes. Very good. Very good. Yeah, Vasudeva is the son of Vasudeva. Very nice. So he is also called as Vasudeva. The next Vasudevaya Namaha. Vasudevaya Namaha. The next one is Sanatana. What is Sanatana?
Mataji. Is it Vasudeva is also used in like Vasudeva Bhagavati.
Vasudeva Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga.
Does Sanatan mean everlasting? Like Sanatan Dharma?
Very good. Very nice. Sanatan. Who are the 4 Kumaras? What are their names? Anyone knows?
Rukmini.
Sanak, Sanatan.
Sanat
Kumar.
Sanandan.
Kumara.
Sanandan, Sanat Kumar. Very nice. So one of the 4 Kumaras, his name is also Sanatan. Sanatan means eternal, that which is always existing. So
also there's Sanatan Goswami.
Sanatan Goswami. Very good. Very nice. Yes. So Sanatan means eternal. Sanatan Dharma, that religious principle or way of life that is eternal is called as Sanatan Dharma. That is Vedic tradition. So Sanatana is eternal. So Krishna is Sanatan. He's eternal. So that was the next name. Sanatan. Okay, Sanatana. Then let's see what else is there. Sanatanaya Namaha. So that's how you offer the name. Sometimes when we do these Namavalis, we offer each of these names. Om Krishnaya Namaha, Vasudevaya Namaha, Sanatanaya Namaha, like that. So that's how the offering is, Sanatanaya Namaha.
I've attended pujas where people said this. Yeah.
Correct. So in pujas, they give each of the names as an offering. Very nice. So the fourth one was Sanatan. Fifth one, Vasudev Atmaja. What was Atmaja? When we did a relationship, we saw this for what is Atmaja? So we saw different relationships. We saw sibling relationship, we saw children, we saw parent, we saw friends. So does anybody remember what was Atmaja? I can split it for you. I'll help you. Okay, Ja means what? We have seen this many times. Ja means to be. Ja is the root word for Janani, Janma. Yes, amazing Abhinav.
Does that mean like multiple lives? The soul going through janmas?
So Janma is birth, basically, right? Ja means to be born. Okay. Like for example, who's called Aja? Aja.
Ajamila.
Ajamil.
No. In Bhagavad,
Unborn Mataji. Who is
unborn. Correct. Is to negate, right? Is opposite. Ja means one who's not born. Who's that? Unborn.
Krishna.
Krishna. Yes. In this universe, who's unborn? Who's celebrated as being unborn, but he's born.
Brahma.
Brahma. Excellent. Very good. Excellent. Good job. And even in animals, we did one Aja. Anyone remembers who's Aja in animal? One animal, and we were comparing him with Brahma, the animal with Brahma. Anybody remembers? Brahma, yes. Brahma is Aja. He's unborn. But there is one animal called as Aja. Anybody remembers in the animal?
The elephant, Gaja.
That is Gaja. Then who is Aja? Huh?
Ajam.
Crocodile,
No, it's a goat.
snake.
Goat is Aja.
Oh yeah.
Remember? Yes. So, you know, sometimes in Sanskrit, it's interesting. So depending on the pitch and the tone, the meaning changes. Like if I say Aja, then Brahma has to come. If I say Aja, then the goat will come. So when we chant mantras, you have to be very careful. So who messed up while chanting mantras? Which story is that? Indra Shatroho. Who did that? Who did that mistake? And who was born because of the mistake? Sixth canto story.
Mataji, can you repeat the question again?
Okay. So while chanting the mantra, a person made a mistake. Instead of saying Indra Shatroho, said Indra Shatro. Because of that, who was born? Sixth canto. Vritrasur, very good. Sixth canto story, right? So while chanting mantras, Vedic mantras, the tone and the pitch is very important. It may convey different meanings. Like Aja will convey one meaning, Ajaha will convey a different meaning. So Ajaha is Brahma, Aja is goat. Okay. So this is now okay. Forget Aja. Okay. Now it says Vasudev Atmaja. Vasudeva, you all Vasudeva, you all know, right? Vasudeva Atmaja. You all know who's Vasudeva. Vasudeva is the father of Krishna. Now, Atma is what?
Soul.
Power.
So, Atmaja means to be born from? No. Atmaja. We are trying to understand the word Atmaja. You said Atma is soul. Ja means to be born. Vasudeva is the father of Krishna. So what is Vasudeva Atmaja?
The son of Vasudev.
The son
of Vasudev and the soul of Amber.
Yeah, the one who was born from the soul or the life and soul of Vasudeva. Okay, so that is Vasudeva Atmaja. And who is Vasudeva Atmaja?
Krishna.
So Vasudeva is also Krishna. Vasudevatmaja is also Krishna. We'll just do the first line of this Namavali. I'm trying to tell all the meanings and then we'll chant the entire verse. Okay. Punya. What is the meaning of Punya?
Pious activities.
Pious. One who's
Pious
very
karma.
pure, right? One who's very, very pure is Punya. So Om Punyaya Namaha. That is also one of the names of Krishna. Krishna is the purest of the pure, right? So he's called as Punya. Now the next name is Leela Manusha Vigraha.
Mataji, does it mean the one who has a form of a deity and performs leelas?
Mataji, does that Vigraha mean deities?
Yes, very nice.
Vigraha.
Vigraha, basically, like we say, what is that?
Mataji, what are we going on during right now?
What?
What are we? What is the syllabus we are going through right now?
We are understanding the names of Krishna in Sanskrit. Okay.
Okay.
So Vigraha, tell me the first verse of Brahma Samhita.
Ishvara Paramakrishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govindam Sarvakarana Karan.
So he's Sachidananda Vigraha, right? There, what does Vigraha mean?
Deities.
In the form of deities.
Form. It's actually form, right? When we go to the temple, we say Vigraha is deity. But generally, Vigraha means a form, a particular form. Krishna takes a Vigraha form and he comes as a deity. So, Leela Manusha Vigraha. Leela means what? Leela is to perform.
Pastime.
What is Manusha?
In the human form?
Yes, Leela Manusha Vigraha means Krishna, who's the supreme, he comes in the form of a human to perform pastimes. So he assumes the form of a human and he performs pastimes. Okay, so this is the very first verse of Krishna Namavali. All of these have different names of Krishna. Each of these names of Krishna means something. That is what we are trying to understand. And it describes his quality, his nature, his activities. The name itself describes his form, it describes his activities, his qualities. All of these can be seen from the names of Krishna. Okay, like for example, the very first one was Krishna. Krishna describes that he is dark complexion. Krishna describes he is very attractive. Kamalanatha means that, oh, he is the husband of goddess of fortune. It's a quality of Krishna. Vasudeva means he is the son of Vasudeva. So like that, every name of Krishna has a meaning. It describes his name, form, qualities, and characteristics. Okay, and his pastime and the relationship he has with his devotee. Okay, so let's chant the very first verse together. You can repeat after me. Om Shri Krishna Kamalanatho.
Om Shri Krishna Kamalanatho.
Vasudeva Sanatana.
Vasudeva Sanatana.
Vasudevatmaja Punyo.
Vasudeva Punyo.
Leela Manusha Vigraha.
Leela Manusha Vigraha.
Now you know the meaning of this entire verse, right? Every meaning you know. Let's do it again. Om Shri Krishna Kamalanatho.
Om Shri Krishna Kamalanatho.
Vasudeva Sanatana.
Vasudeva Sanatana.
Vasudevatmaja Punyo.
Vasudeva Punyo.
Leela Manusha Vigraha.
Leela Manusha Vigraha.
Quiz. What is Sanatana?
Everlasting.
The four Kumaras.
The four Kumaras. Yes, everlasting. One of the four Kumaras also Sanatana. Very nice. Everlasting or eternal. Okay. What is Kamalanatha?
The husband of the goddess of fortune.
Husband of Lakshmi.
Punya. What is Punya?
Pious activities.
Pious activities.
You can say pious activities, but when we use punya to glorify the Lord, we mean that he is an embodiment of all piety. So he is the supreme pious one. That's what we mean. Okay. Because we are addressing him. We are not addressing ourselves. Then, Leela Manusha Vigraha.
In the form of Leelavatara.
He goes to perform pastimes to a child,
In the form of
and he
Leelavatara.
does lovely pastimes.
Fantastic. Very nice. Everyone
In
said
the
it well.
form of
Oh, Mataji,
Leelavatara.
to perform
In the form of a
pastimes.
Leelavatara.
Human pastimes.
Yes, correct. Everybody said it right. Yeah, that's all correct. Yeah. Vasudevatmaja.
The son of Vasudeva.
The son of Vasudev.
Correct. Atmaja means
Son
The
of
power.
His soul and heart.
The soul.
yeah, one who is born from the soul and heart of that person is Atmaja. Okay, Atmaja generally means the child. The son of the child is called as Atmaja. Atmaja means daughter. Okay, because though that person is born from the body, still the parent has invested her life and soul in that child, right? When the child is born. So that's why we say Atmaja. It's a very nice way of addressing the child. Okay. Even Tanuja. Tanuja means one who's born from the body. Atmaja means one who's born from the soul itself. Both are correct. It's just what do you say? It's a different way of telling that, oh, this is my child, with a lot of love and affection. Okay. So we did the very first verse. We understood the different names of Krishna and what it means. So in our next session, we'll go to the second verse, and maybe we can pick up and do even the third verse in the next session. Okay, there are very beautiful names coming up. Shri Vatsa, the very beautiful name. Tubha, Kaustubhadara, Yashoda Vatsala. All of these names we'll try to understand in our session. Okay, so we'll end here and we'll meet again next. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Bye.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Thank you.
Vaishnavi, Namo Namaha.
Bye Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Mataji. Hare Krishna.